Hello everybody, I am Tom and you will watch me play Pokemon Gold, but I use a new team for every gym. In today's episode, we start the game by taking on the bird boy, Falkner. So, starting out, we go to our neighbour house, Professor Elm. Ignore the creepy dude peeking into his window for now. He wants us to run an errand for him, and to protect us on the way, he allows us to pick a starter Pokemon. The choices being Cyndaquil, Totodile, or Chikorita. I ended up going with Cyndaquil. My reason for this is I don't actually plan on using the starter for a fair while because their final evolution is quite good. And Cyndaquil is a fire type. Fire types are just rarer in the game compared to water or grass, so I figured it's probably better for type coverage in the future to go with Cyndaquil. Next up, we need to go and talk to the most originally named character in all of Pokemon's games. Mr. Pokemon. We can't catch any Pokemon in this segment, so I just run past everything and make my way up to Mr. Pokemon's house. I swear this man is in witness protection or something. He lives in the middle of the forest, and I mean Mr. Pokemon, honestly. In any case, upon reaching his house, we find that he has found an egg, and this is somehow a fantastic discovery. Apparently, sexual reproduction is a new and mysterious power in the world of Johto. So he gives us this mysterious egg, and to go back and give it to Professor Elm. While we're there, it also turns out that Professor Oak is visiting him. He gives us the opportunity to give us the Pokedex. Then he heads off to do his radio show, apparently. I guess Pokemon science doesn't really pay the bills, I guess? In any case, as we're leaving Mr. Pokemon's house, we get a rather vague call from Professor Elm.
Hello, Gold, it's a disaster. It is terrible. What should I do? Please, come back here now.
So we head back. On our way, we run into the weird creeper from Professor Elm's window. He challenges us to our first real Pokemon battle. It's not hard. Literally just a tackle fest for the win. We make it back to Professor Elm's house, and there's a police officer there investigating the theft of one of Professor Elm's Pokemon. Obviously, we just fought the culprit, so we let the officer know his name, despite the fact that he never actually told us what his name was. But in any case, I dubbed him Silver. Incidentally, I didn't mention this before, but I named myself Gold. After giving my statement to the Popo, we give Elm the mystery egg, and he tells us, seemingly out of nowhere, that we should take the Pokemon Gym Challenge, and that the first one is in Violet City. So now we have a next immediate goal. As we're leaving, the egg comes up to us and gives us 5 Pokeballs, so we can now start catching some Pokemon, which is quite nice. Now that I can capture Pokemon, I immediately head up to Route 46. This is technically a much later route, but because of how the shortcut loops back to the start of the game, we can head up there right at the start to catch some useful Pokemon. Specifically, I'm looking for a Spearow, which I plan to use in the first gym. I also catch a Rattata while I'm up there, as the spawn rate is relatively low and I ran into one, so why the hell not? I also wasn't entirely sure at this point whether or not I was going to use Rattata in the Falkner gym. Did I mention, by the way, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I have a vague strategy in mind for most of the gyms, but for the most part, I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants. So, I'm hoping it'll work out. Anyway, after I catch both the Rattata and the Spearow, I head back to Cherry Grove City. On the way, I run into a Sentret, and I catch it for posterity. And then quickly I grind each of my Pokemon up to level 6 or 7. With a very liberal use of the speed up key on the emulator. I plan to abuse this very useful tool a lot throughout the playthrough, as I'm going to have to grind up 18 separate teams of Pokemon. It would take a very long time without the speed up button. Luckily, the speed up button is very, very useful. Alright, so next up, we head up through Route 30 and 31. For the most part, I run through here. There are some trainers, but nothing really worth mentioning. They have some Rattatas, Pidgeys, and Caterpies, all at very low level, kind of 2 to 4. They're largely inconsequential. The only thing worth noting is I caught a Metapod as I was running past, just in case I want a Butterfree in the future. It's good to have a Metapod there. But next up, we caught a member that I actually plan on using against Falkner, a Bellsprout. Now, this may sound odd, as he is a flying-type gym, and grass Pokemon are weak to flying. However, I have my reasons that it'll all make sense to you. So I grind the Bellsprout up to level 6, and then we go talk to this kid here. He trades an Onix for a Bellsprout. So now, we have the makeup for our team. Spearow and Rocky the Onix. Rocky? Really, kid? Rocky? In any case, at this point I deposit the rest of my team into the PC and get ready to attempt the first gym. I decided to make the first attempt without grinding my Pokemon up to level 9, Falkner's Ace, and hence my level limit upon entering the gym. The first 2 trainer battles were simple enough. The first guy have a level 9 Spearow. We took that out by using Screech to greatly lower defense, and then just tackle spamming with Onix. The next trainer was even easier. He had 2 level 7 Pidgeys. Same strategy applies, Screech into tackle with Onix. Now on to the main event. This is the Falkner video. So, Falkner. He's the bird boy of legend. He has a level 7 Pidgey that is easy enough to take out. However, his level 9 Pidgeotto, which, by the way, what the hell, Falkner, you cheated. Pidgey evolves at level 18. Whatever. In any case, his Pidgeotto was just too strong for us to take out. Our team was slightly underleveled, so I left and I grinded both of my members up to level 9 and returned for the rematch. Once again, his Pidgey isn't much of a threat. Leading with a Screech from Rocky, he used Mud Slap. With the Pidgey's defense lowered from Screech, I swapped out to Spearow. I know that this is a free switch-in because the AI will always prioritize a high damaging move, and since Mud Slap is super effective on Onix, it will always try and use Mud Slap, so swapping into Spearow, they try and use Mud Slap because they've already selected their move, and it's ineffective because flying types are immune to ground attacks. So Spearow is always a free swap-in when I'm using Onix and Spearow, it's quite nice. Anyway, with the defense lowered, 2 pecks from Spearow will take out the Pidgey very, very quick. Next up, his Pidgeotto comes out. But now that he doesn't have a level advantage over me, it's much easier. So I swap to Onix. It means that I tank 1 hit because I am swapping off Spearow. Falkner won't use Mud Slap because it's not effective against Spearow, so we get hit by a Gust, which does laughably low damage, so it doesn't really matter. But once again, the strategy remains pretty much the same as before. Screech down the defense, then attack with all I've got. The first Screech unfortunately incurred me with a Mud Slap to the face because it missed. The second one worked out. Once again, I ate another Mud Slap for it though. I went for 2 more Screeches, but both of them missed. It is worth noting here that Mud Slap is lowering my accuracy as we're going, so the fact that these Screeches are missing isn't that surprising. But in any case, I decided to cut my losses and swap to Spearow. Once again, this is a completely free swap because he uses Mud Slap, and I am immune to Mud Slap. I then began pecking. Getting 2 off, I begin taking him down, but I get taken down to the red by Pidgeotto using Gusts. Once again, an evolved Pokemon, so even though we're the same level, his bird just outstats mine. I switch back to my Onix and tackle once, and then miss my second tackle, annoyingly. This leaves Onix with 4 HP. I swap back to Spearow, and then swap back to Onix. I honestly don't know why I did this, there was literally no advantage whatsoever for me doing it. But in any case, Onix goes down to a Mud Slap, and then Spearow comes back out. Luckily, my Spearow is better than his Pidgeotto in one specific stat. Speed. And because of that, I use a peck, and that wins me the badge. The Zephyr badge is now ours. As a little outro, as we leave the gym, Professor Elm calls us and says that his aide has something for us at the Pokemon Center. It turns out to be the egg. It needs to be with other Pokemon in order to hatch, so I guess we have an egg now. But with that, that's the first episode of this challenge done. As you can see, relatively short episodes. I imagine each of these is going to be relatively short. In any case, if you like the video, please leave a like. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time, where we'll take on Bugsy, the bug trainer. What is with the names of these characters? Bugsy, Mr. Pokemon, fucking Rocky the Onix?